Welcome back, everyone. We're here today with one of my favorite shows of the week, the Friday Review, where anything goes. We're going to be going over a lot of different topics, a lot of different categories today. I've got two fun research articles, so not as serious here today on these research-based articles, but of course they're health and nutrition-based. Can't wait to bring those to you. We have a new book review. This one's a big one, but it is worth the read. This was a fun book. Really enjoyed reading this. I actually got quite a bit of knowledge out of it. So that was great to be able to read. And of course, a brand new product review as well. My wife actually introduced me to this one. If you're watching on video, great. You get to see all of these different things live. But if not, you can still get the most out of it on audio as well. Of course, the podcast is available on any MP3 based player. And on YouTube, right at my name, Stephen Cabral, as well as every single day on my website, stephencabral.com. All right, let's dive right into today's show. I always start with what's happening right now inside of our online functional medicine practice, our global-based health community. And I was really excited because, let me see if I can grab them right now for you. Just about 2 weeks ago, we debuted these brand new superfood chocolate bars. And I don't have a lot to say about them today, except that I'm just excited that people love them as much as we did, because I've been sampling these for the past about 6 months. We went through multiple iterations, and what we came up with was really a fantastic idea. This is a team job for sure. It's not just me. But when you look at this, it's a small chocolate bar. It'd be the amount to maybe 3 bites, right? So it's like, think of it as like 2 big squares of chocolate or 4 small squares of chocolate that you might have with a chocolate bar, except that they're individually wrapped, so you're not going to overeat on a guilt-free treat. And it's not just dark chocolate. This is vegan-based chocolate, because we have many vegan-based people in our community. It tastes just like the real thing, as they say, but also it's superfood based. So you're getting raspberries in there, you're getting cherries in there. It's absolutely delicious. My daughters can't get enough of them. And of course, my wife was one of the ones who just said, you need to come out with this product. So it's been a lot of fun. Again, gluten-free, dairy-free, egg-free. It is vegan. It's allergy-friendly, which means that this is school safe for most places. And you can check them. You can just check them out. Again, just head on over to eco.life, and you can just search, superfood chocolate, and you'll be able to find it right in the search bar. But again, a lot of fun being able to get those out to you. We still have a few boxes left before this first batch is gone. We do make these super fresh. I mean, these are literally made once a month. So yeah, fun product. I love being able to do things like this. This is that guilt-free treat that you've been looking for. So that's called the Superfood Chocolate Bars. And again, you can check them out over at EcoLife. One thing I wanted to share with you as well is that over at stephencabral.com, we've been doing a lot in the background that we haven't been talking about, and that is a lot of our free assessments. These are literally, completely 100% free. So what we're trying to do is come up with almost like a consultation style, like, do you have gut permeability issues? Do you have high estrogen? Do you have higher levels of toxins? Do you have low levels of B vitamin, low levels of vitamin C? So we're giving you these assessments that you can use in order to know more about yourself, and even just the right questions to ask. That's the great thing. And these are completely free. Right now, there's not even an opt-in, meaning like you don't even need to enter your name or email. It's just completely free. So definitely check it out. Head on over to stephencabral.com, and you can just click on assessments, or go stephencabral.com/assessments. The second part is this. We are now just launching our Gut Health Results Accelerator. If you've been dealing with bloating or cramping or gas or loose stool or constipation or bacterial overgrowth, candida overgrowth, H. pylori, parasites, anything that you can imagine, acid reflux, GERD, anything going on with your digestive system, this Gut Rebalancing Health Results Accelerator is going to help you to understand how that happened in the first place, reverse engineer it, and then rebalance the underlying root causes that are keeping you unwell and with those digestive issues. So you can check that out. Just go to stephencabral.com/courses. You'll see all of our Health Results Accelerators. This is literally like me teaching you, which it is, me teaching you for about 4 to 5 hours per Health Results Accelerator. You're going to learn everything that you need. You're going to learn as much as you would learn in working with me for 4 or 5 or 6 different consultations, maybe even more. Plus, you're going to get all of the plans that I use as well for helping people to rebalance their gut and digestive system for every single one of them. So head on over to stevencabral.com/courses right now. Click on the Gut Health Results Accelerator. And this week only, use the coupon code GUT100, GUT100 for $100 off that Gut Health Results Accelerator during its debut. All right. Now, next up over at Equal Life, the last thing I want to share with you before we get into the rest of the show is we are offering a free bottle of our alkalizing vitamin C over at Equa.life with all qualifying purchases. This has been hands down, especially the last 12 to 15 months for people wanting to boost their immune system. Hands down, one of people's favorite. So going on right now over at Equa.life, free alkalizing vitamin C while supplies last. This is absolutely while supplies last. We typically reserve 500 for these giveaways, and hopefully you got your bottle already. If not, check out if there's any left over at Equa.life. All right. Now, the podcast recap of the week. Hopefully you've been tuning in all week. If you haven't, you may have missed out on our Motivation and Mindset Monday, which was episode 1893, which was the ultimate and only guaranteed path to success. This is what I figured out the hard way over about the past 10, 15 years of how to virtually guarantee yourself success. You can't always say success is going to happen within a couple weeks or a couple months, but you can virtually guarantee that it will happen if you follow this formula. All right, the second one on Tuesday, episode 1894, was do you have leaky brain? Very similar to leaky gut, but it affects the brain. And I gave you the top 10 questions to ask yourself, a quiz to see if you may have it. All right, on our Wednesday show, we went over, should you only eat one meal a day? Believe it or not, there are many people out there who are promoting a 1 meal a day diet. Check that out as well. That was episode 1895. And then just yesterday, episode 1896, I gave you my new daily workout routine. Now, I know I've said before, you need those rest days in there. Check out what I'm doing, how I'm actually using active workouts for recovery as well during those other days as well, and why I'm doing an everyday workout for right now as well. That was episode 1896. All right, today's episode 1897. You can check out all the product reviews, the links, the research at stevencabral.com/1897. All podcasts are over at stevencabral.com/podcasts. Okay, so first is the product review of the week. Every single Friday, I love being able to bring you something from the health and wellness and fitness and anti-aging based industry. Well, this is the Vitruvi. The Vitruvi is new to me, but not new to the world, but new to me. And this is an amazing essential oil diffuser. So I've given you essential oil diffusers before, the faux wood ones that I love. I do use those all over my office, and we use them in our home for sure. But my wife actually made me aware of this product. So this is called the Vitruvi, and it's actually made of stone. This is a stone essential oil diffuser. And it looks beautiful. That's a big thing about it, is that it's great in the home. This one is the terracotta color, but they have white, they have black, they have gray, they have a rose color, they have a few limited edition ones. But the nice thing is that you can actually put your essential oils right in here. So you can see that they give you the max fill line. Okay, so that's for your water. And then you're going to add a few drops of your favorite essential oil. I promise in the future, I will be doing an essential oil show, basically like a starter show, a fundamental show on which essential oils I use and in different seasons as well, because I use different oils depending on the season. And you can see right in here, this is solid stone, terracotta, really, really beautiful. And this has been a nice addition to our home. We still have some of the faux wood essential oil diffusers as well, the bamboo ones, but this has just been a great one. It's easy to just plug in right in the back, and then you can set it for ongoing. You can set the little light here. You can set it for 4 hours, for 8 hours, and you can allow it to just basically mist, and you can show it. So on the little video or the link I'll link up, you can actually just see it misting right out. We use a lot of lavender in my house, in my office, or during the day. I will use some thieves-based oil during the winter's-based season. We'll use grapefruit. We'll use mint. So eucalyptus is one of my favorites as well. So again, a really nice piece to add to your home. I'm going to link this up at StephenCabral.com/1897. If the company offers any coupon codes to me, I'm going to pass them along to you. All right. So again, a great find, a great product. And again, designed in Vancouver by Vitruvi. So really nice piece and a nice addition. All right. Next up is my book review of the week, and it's called The Secret Language of Cells. It's not a new book, but if I look inside this little jacket right here, we'll see if I can find the date of its publishing. It's a book that I've had sitting around for a while. I really have. I mean, this is a book that's just kind of sat on my shelf. When is this first published? Well, I don't know. It looks at least a year or so old. But this is a book, again, that I've been recommended, just haven't gotten around to reading it for whatever reason. It just kind of hasn't popped off the shelf at me. But it's called The Secret Language of Cells: What Biological Conversations Tell Us About the Brain-Body Connection, the Future of Medicine, and Life Itself, written by Dr. John Leaf, I believe is how you pronounce his last name, or Life. And I'll tell you, it took me a while to get around to reading it. It is a fairly comprehensive book, about 300 pages, but worth it. If you love to learn more about how the inner workings of your body, you will enjoy this book. There's also some great microscopy photos. So many people don't know this, especially if you're new to the community, that I did microscopy for quite some time in my practice, about 8 years or so. And there's just some beautiful photos here. And again, if you're watching this on video, you can see the bacteria right there being attacked by human cells. And then I also highlighted another one of a dendrite. So basically, you can look at some of your nerve cells right here, how beautiful that is. But really what this book is talking about is how our body and our immune cells, let's say T cells that can fight cancer, how they actually communicate with the brain itself. And they tell the brain what to release more of, what to release less of, how to make you feel as well. So I do believe that this is something that could be used in the future for cancer-based methodologies, for boosting the immune system, for also helping with autoimmune issues, and so much more. So this was a fun book to read. It really was. It's all about cellular communication, how your body communicates back and forth through bacteria, through cells, through immune cells, how it talks about autophagy, so cellular cleanup, and also apoptosis, which is programmed cell death. And what that means if we're actually able to extend cellular life. And we may be able to do that in the not too distant future. So if you're into this type of thing, this was a great book. I do give it a nice recommendation here. It's called The Secret Language of Cells. And of course, I will link up where to get it just over at StephenCabral.com/1897. All right, we are already on to our 2 research studies of the week. This first one coming out of, let's see here, the Journal of Consumer Research, and the work was done at the University of Southern Florida in Tampa. Okay, so what did the research say? Well, it was actually looking at what happens when humans stand and eat. And I don't know exactly what their hypothesis was in the beginning, but we do know what the findings were. And this is very interesting to me. 2 reasons why. And this was done by, Dr. Biswas, Biswas, B-I-S-W-A-S. And they found that when humans stand, there's a natural strain on the body. And that makes sense, right? Because the peripheral nervous system, the proprioceptors, your body's telling you that you're standing, and there's a level of interaction between the fascia and the muscles and the ligaments and the tendons of the nervous system to keep you standing. So what happens is, though, while you are standing, there's reduced food sensory receptors, receptors in the tongue. So the receptors from the tongue to the brain, it's dampened while standing. That means that your favorite foods or food in general is not going to be as tasty, as flavorful when you stand and eat versus when you're seated and more relaxed. I found that to be really interesting. And my brain started to kind of go all in all different directions. I'm like, okay, well, how do we make that food less palatable? And kind of like looking at all these different scenarios. But again, it's not healthy to eat while standing because it isn't as great for digestion. But anyway, what the article eventually got there, and it said for those people that don't like certain unpleasant tastes or even medicines or maybe like supplements, take those while standing. And that was very interesting to me. So, back in the day, a lot of people used to take cod liver oil and other things like that. And or even my daughter's taking their, little shot of medicine. And again, when I say shot of medicine, I'm talking about natural health-based modalities. It might be some elderberry, it might be some vitamin C, it might be liquid vitamin D, and there might be some echinacea. So I'm talking about all natural things, of course. But to have them do it standing versus seated would dampen the taste of any of those things. So really interesting research. If you want to learn more about it, of course, I'll link it up today on episode 1897. All right, second research study for the day is this. And so probably by now, if you've been listening to the show, you know that I enjoy coffee. I always tell myself that I'm never going to give it up because everybody needs a vice, right? And so, and again, I'm saying that tongue in cheek, of course, because coffee is not necessarily bad for you. When you overdo it, it's not good because of the caffeine. So as long as you're getting organic coffee or you're doing a Swiss water process organic, and it's a clean coffee tested for mold or tested for heavy metals, et cetera, then you're good to go. I mean, you really are, but you don't really want to exceed 200 milligrams a day of caffeine. It just 300 milligrams would be, I would say, the upper limit. That's typically what's recommended as well. And a lot of people don't know this. Let me see if there's no specific. Actually, this is specific because it's been well researched. But what I want to do is share with you this: is that whatever coffee you're drinking right now, you can easily look up the amount of caffeine in it by literally doing amount of caffeine in and then state your coffee, whether it be Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts, etc. And I've done podcasts on the different levels of caffeine and things, but it's been a while. So what I would say is this, though, is that a lot more people are drinking cold brew coffee. And as we move to those warmer months, I want to share with you that cold brew coffee, if it's already been kind of pre-made, which most, of course, have been because they typically sit out for 18 to 24 hours to cold brew it. They often have twice the amount of caffeine for the same amount of liquid as regular coffee. Why is this? Well, it's typically a concentrate, right? It's concentrated. It's sat there for a while. So what I want to share with you is this. Is if you're making your own, well, you need to be cognizant that it might be twice the caffeine. But if you're getting it at your local coffee shop, you can find out how much caffeine it is and is in it typically in many bottled varieties as well. If it is over your 200 to 300 milligrams a day, I really want you to be careful with that. Or you can do what I do. What I do is this, and it's very simple. Whether you're going out to a place or whether you're making it on your own, you can actually do half cold brew and ice and then half water. And that's typically what I do. So I like to use my Berkey filtered water, or I like to use more of a spring water, which is naturally a little bit more alkaline. And I dump that in with my cold brew, and it makes a delicious cold brew coffee. And it's not overly diluted. And I want to tell you that because most cold brew coffee is overly concentrated. So you're simply diluting it in half, which is going to give you about the same amount of caffeine as your typical caffeinated based beverage. So it's something to look at. Again, I think the less caffeine we can take in, the better, to be honest with you. So keep diluting your cold brew as to what you can tolerate. And to make cold brew really easy, you know what? Why don't I'll link up one cold brew coffee maker right now. That's very popular. So cold brew coffee maker. I'm going to link that up at stephencabral.com/1897. Maybe I'll even do a Friday review on it in the future. But right now I'm just going to simply link it up. And you could try experimenting with different levels of kind of coarse coffee in there, of course, organic. And you could even make cold brew decaf, which is what I do. So one of the ways that I do is I just add a cold brew decaf, of course, organic, of course, Swiss water processed. And I'll just add varying levels to that. Typically I make the full amount. And again, I just dilute that in half when it comes to drinking it. So there's all different hacks to get around this. But I just want you to keep in mind, again, a lot of times as we're drinking these cold brews, they're overly caffeinated and certainly not good for our nervous system, our adrenals, our HPA axis. So hopefully today's podcast was helpful. Again, all of the links, all of the research for the Vitruvi, for the secret language of cells, and of course, so much more over at stephencabral.com/1897 for all those show notes. Take care, everyone. Have an amazing weekend, and I'll be back tomorrow answering your questions on our Cabral House Calls.